Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let's see who's in here. Morgan, Sapphire, Charlie Girl says, it is Stacy, Misty Walker. Good morning. New intro. I've had it, well, you've been gone, Sapphire, taking a little break. But I've had it for probably since last week sometime. Oh, Lizzie Storage. Good morning, Mike. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm having a hard time getting going. I just took my freaking medicine. I took it late. I usually take it when I first get up. Anyways, before we get started, I need y'all to start doing me a favor when you can. When you can, comment on my live streams. Even if you've been in the chat, I don't care if you just leave an emoji. Because it helps the analytics. I'm just now learning about these stinking analytics. I hate asking people, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I hate doing that because I figure if people want to do it, they'll do it, you know. I don't like being pushy, but if you guys could please just comment sometimes, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I didn't get to do a stream on the porch yesterday. It was just too damn chilly. The sun was shining, but it was too cold. I'm ready for the weather to warm up because I'm wanting to do some evening streams on my porch. Have some game nights, just hang out on the porch with the dogs, shoot the breeze. Hopefully this evening it'll be a little bit warmer. Anyways, we got some things to talk about. Here I always say I don't like watching trials. Guess what I've been doing? Watching the Derek Chauvin trial. Yesterday, I wanted to jump through my TV at that second witness. For one, I wish these young girls would quit wearing those damn 5-inch, 10-inch long eyelashes. It looks ridiculous when you cannot see your eyeballs for your eyelashes. Also, when you're in a court of law, you're not supposed to snicker, be fidgety, and not answer any questions. That second witness, that girl that worked at the gas station, she didn't know a damn thing. Every damn thing they asked her, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, my mind's blank, I don't know, I don't know. I wanted to freaking scream. That is like, she is like the worst witness in the history of the United States. I'll comment on the last few. Hope it helps. Oh, have you, Morgan? I'm going to try to get better at replying to my comments. I try to always heart everybody to let everybody know. But anyways, what are we going to talk about first? Oh, Sarm Heslop. Police have been searching an uninhabited island and cove for her. They have took their search inland for some reason. I don't know what's brought them inland. And also, Ryan Bain, he was issued, I don't know if I told you guys this last week, but he was actually, Sarm's boyfriend, Ryan Bain, was issued a citation for not allowing the Coast Guard aboard his catamaran. Yeah, it's like I think it was like an obstruction of justice. I've got the article, we'll look at it. Let's see what it says about this. I got a dog scratching on the door. He's going to have to wait. Lady's eating. Authorities in the U.S. Virgin Islands are reportedly searching inland areas for missing Sarm Heslop, believing she won't be found in any water or, if no longer alive, washed ashore. So they don't even think she's going to wash ashore. They must not think she's in the water. A reportedly well-connected source based in the Virgin Islands told the Daily Mail that U.S. Virgin Islands police are now searching for the British woman on land. The unidentified source said that investigators have abandoned the possibility that Sarm will be found in the water, as she disappeared 3 weeks ago. At this point, the possibility of finding a body washed up on shore is considered highly unlikely. That window of possibility is gone. Really? I mean, she could have been like thrown out in the water with like a block or an anchor to her, and that's why she's not washed ashore. It seems like though even if they did use an anchor, if someone used an anchor to anchor her body down, at some point the body would have bloated and probably torn apart like Lacey Peterson's body did. I hate talking about things like that. It's gross. Okay, the Daily Mail report states that police in the U.S. Virgin Islands have narrowed their search to a series of uninhabited islands and coves. All of the search areas appear to be within a short distance from the island of St. John, Sarm Heslop's last known location. Heslop's boyfriend, Ryan Bain, reported her missing in the early hours of March 8th. Sarm is a British citizen who has been spending time in the U.S. Virgin Islands since late 2019 and reportedly met Ryan Bain on Tinder in July 2020. I really wish these people would quit meeting people on these dating apps. It never ends well. I mean, some of them do, but the cases we covered, they don't end well. A friend of Sarm's told Crime Online that Sarm had been living and working on Bain's catamaran, Siren Song, since February. Bain runs a charter tour business and remains on the vessel as captain when it is rented. He told police him and Sarm had gone to sleep on the boat sometime after 10 p.m. March 7th. He discovered her missing when he awoke about 2 a.m. March 8th by the sound of the catamaran's anchor alarm. And he did call police around 2 a.m. and they told him to call the Coast Guard, and he waited 10 damn hours later to do that. Hold on, guys. Let me let the Colonel in. He's demanding it. Get in here, Bubba. There's no food, so... Come on. You guys are not going to fight in here. Give me that. Move the food. Okay. Authorities have not named Ryan Bain as a suspect in Sarm's disappearance, but have indicated that he has not been cooperative with the investigation. Oh, we know that. He wouldn't even let them search his boat. Okay, so the U.S. Virgin Islands police said Bain would not grant them permission to search Siren Song. The U.S. Coast Guard, who performed a water search for Heslop on the afternoon of March 8th, issued a citation to Ryan Bain for allegedly obstructing a search of the boat. The vessel operator, Bain was cited for multiple violations, including failure to provide a certificate of documentation for the vessel, obstruction of a boarding and safety equipment violations, the Public Affairs Office of the Coast Guard Sector San Juan said in an email on Monday. These citations have not been adjudicated, and therefore not final determinations of an administrative procedure. And his attorney did not return requests for comment, probably because his client is missing in action. As far as I can tell, he is still gone. Nobody knows where he's at. The FBI did charter some boats to try to locate his vessel, but I've not heard any more about that. I looked this morning to see if he had been located, and I couldn't find anything. But I couldn't remember if I told y'all about that citation. I don't think I did, because I don't think I knew about it until last night. Hey, faithful one, good morning. Morgan, I'm behind here. Last comment I see is Morgan's here. Okay. It's pronounced a judiciated. Oh my gosh, Mike, I'll never pronounce that word. But thanks for trying to help. Hey, I can pronounce words when I'm not on these live streams. Also, this morning, I did get on the hashtag Find Sarm website that her family put up. We can take a look at that if you guys would like. I think I saved the link. There was really no updates on there. Every day they do post on there, but they still, there's no leads. The UK police have joined in with the FBI and the U.S. Virgin Islands PD, though. I did see that this morning. Where did I save that at? Right here it is. Find Sarm. There's a really pretty picture of her, too. I want to share this. And you can just get on Google and punch in hashtag Find Sarm, and it'll take you right to the website that her family set up. This is a pretty picture of her. I just love this picture. And like I said, they update every day. Let's look at the last update, day 21. It's been 3 weeks since Sarm went missing from the island of St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. We are waiting an update from the UK police who are assisting the investigation, and we are hugely grateful for their involvement. Locals in the U.S. Virgin Islands are back out putting up fresh flyers. Let me go down. Fresh posters, it says, and continuing their efforts. We can't thank them enough. Hashtag Find Sarm. Let me get y'all this link. That way you can follow it too, if you want. Usually I find the updates before they've even posted on there, though. Anyways, prayers for her family and friends. And let's pray that they locate Captain Ryan, as he likes to be called. I should have called that weirdo when I had the chance, but more than likely, I hate doing things like that, but more than likely he wouldn't have answered the phone. I sent him a follow request on Instagram, and then I remembered I got a bunch of true crime stuff posted on my Instagram. Several different things, so he probably won't follow back. I was hoping that he would, because his Instagram is locked down. It's private. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Weirdo Ghislaine Maxwell's been hit with more charges, y'all. That weirdo, she's going down. She's already been cuffed and stuff. They're going to book and cook her goose. They really are. It's sick. Now it turns out she groomed a 14-year-old girl, allegedly. Let's say allegedly. We know she did it, though. We know this weirdo did it. And let me tell you what she did. So they've hit her with these charges. This happened between, 2001 and 2004. They got this 14-year-old girl to come and give Jeffrey Epstein massages. He was even sending her lingerie to her home from a New York address. Now, let me tell you something. If my son, 14 years old, gets a package in the mail, I'm going to be wanting to know what's in it, especially when I know we didn't order nothing. I'd be like, let's see what's in it, let's open it up, you know. So, a lot of parents don't keep track of their kids. And another thing, they preyed on young women that didn't have good home lives, lived in poverty, things like that. Jeffrey Epstein's pal, Ghislaine Maxwell, hit with new charges. Federal prosecutors add sex trafficking conspiracy to the indictment against Maxwell, along with a new accuser who was 14 when she was recruited to give Epstein sexualized massages. Oh, this really cooks my goose, as they say, to read that. My son is 14 years old, and to sit and think about someone getting him to do something like that, it makes me sick. But I always think, what if that was my child? Okay, a grand jury has added to the legal woes facing Ghislaine Maxwell, handing down a superseding indictment with 2 new charges for the millionaire madam and sometime girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein. The new indictment charges Maxwell with sex trafficking conspiracy, sex trafficking of a minor, and presents a new accuser, a victim who was 14 years old at the time, and alleges illegal activity between 2001 and 2004, adding to the 1997 end date on the previous indictment. With the new charges, Maxwell now faces 8 counts on accusations from 4 minor victims. She had previously been indicted on 4 counts related to enticing minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, and 2 counts of perjury for allegedly lying to prosecutors about her activities. The indictment says Maxwell groomed the 4th victim to engage in sexual acts with Epstein through multiple means, despite the victim telling her she was under the age of 18. The victim was recruited to provide Epstein with sexualized massages at his home in Palm Beach, the indictment says. You freaking weirdo freaks. The victim was paid hundreds of dollars by Epstein's employees, including Maxwell, the document says, and she was encouraged to recruit other minor girls to provide Epstein sexualized massages. Damn, what a bunch of freaks. On such occasions, both minor victim 4, and the girl she brought were paid hundreds of dollars in cash, the indictment says. The victim also received gifts, including lingerie, sent from an address in New York. The 4th victim was added to conspiracy charges in the initial indictment and is included in the new sex trafficking charges. Maxwell is in jail in Brooklyn awaiting the start of her trial, expected to begin in July. In a letter to U.S. District Judge Allison J. Nathan, accompanying the superseding indictment, prosecutors said they expected no delay. The letter also said prosecutors intend to produce statements from more than 250 witnesses they do not intend to call to the stand. Epstein died from an apparent suicide in August 2019 while in jail awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. Maxwell, who has pleaded not guilty to the charges, has been denied bail 3 times since her arrest last summer. And she is such a crybaby, too. She is such a crybaby. You know what? She's lost hair since she's been in jail. Cry me a river. Whoop-de-doo. Look at what these young girls have to live with the rest of their lives. You can grow your freaking hair back, lady. Nobody feels any sympathy for you. Out recruiting 14-year-old girls and grooming them. Participating in orgies, molesting and raping these girls. Sick individuals. I hope she never sees the light of day again. And I wonder what her new husband thinks about this. Does he think all this is not true? Does he know what a freak his wife is? What a sicko? Gets off on little children? I hate to talk so vulgar, but it's the truth. Hey, Carolina girl, it makes me sick. Hear her cry. What else was she crying about? Something about a toothbrush. This had been a while back, about a month ago. There was an article come out. She's crying about a toothbrush, losing hair, and what else? Something else. Now they have ruined these girls' lives. A lot of them. A lot of them probably got help, but there's a lot that's not got any therapy. And, you know, they may turn to drug use or anything because of this, because they just want to forget what these weirdos done to them, you know. I've been in that state of mind before where I abused drugs just to forget what was in my mind. But anyways, it was a long time ago. Now, let's talk about the Derek Chauvin trial. I can't talk about those weirdos, Ghislaine and Epstein, because I picture in my head them recruiting those girls, them little children, giving him massages and him an old man. You freaking weirdo. I hope the devil's sticking a pitchfork right in his ass right about now for what he done to those young girls. I know I sound awful, but if you've ever had anybody do anything to you like that, you'd feel the same way. It pisses me off. Okay, so here's this weirdo cop. I don't know how y'all feel. How do y'all feel about the Derek Chauvin trial? I know we watched the video. Actually, I think I got the video of him being on top of George Floyd put on private. It was just too graphic. Here's what I think about it. I think he stayed on top of George Floyd because the crowd was pissing him off. I said that back when the video first surfaced, you know. I said you could tell as the crowd was pleading for him to get off of George because he was not struggling and he was saying he couldn't breathe. Derek just put his hands in his pocket and continued to stay on top of this man, even when the freaking ambulance arrived. The ambulance people didn't even say, hey, get off this man or anything. But now, his defense, I believe they said yesterday that it was the crowd's fault that the cops lost their focus. Derek lost his focus because the crowd was egging him on. It's basically what they said. They had the 911 operator on the stand. She was a pretty good witness. She actually reported the police. She saw, somehow, I guess they can pull up and watch what was going down, the 911 operator. So that day, she did that after she got the 911 call. And then she went and told her supervisor she thought something was wrong, you know. She reported the cops because she saw them get into the vehicle, and she could tell that the vehicle was like, there was like a struggle because the vehicle was rocking back and forth. Also, yesterday, I also heard now, and I'm not victim bashing, I'm just repeating what I heard on HLN yesterday, that George Floyd had a history of eating drugs when the police would approach him. And probably he would do that because, if it's true, so he wouldn't get a possession charge. A lot of people do that, but they were talking about him speedballing. And something about pain pills. Now, I do know one thing. Pain pills and nerve pills is a dangerous combination. I'm going to look at the chat for a minute. I think he was already dead. Yes, he had that look in his eye. The mayor said the technique is not taught in their department. Read he had fentanyl in his system. And you know what? Mark was telling me that months ago, Mike, and I got mad at him. We actually got in an argument over the George Floyd case. We don't discuss it because we get in an argument. You know what? Mark said that a long time ago. But here's the thing. Even if he was on drugs, okay, what that cop done was he broke protocol. It is common sense that if you put all your body weight, you know, you're leaning on somebody, they're down on the ground, you got their knee on their neck, you got all your body weight on them. Common sense, you're going to choke them to death. You're going to strangle them to death, whatever you call it. That's common sense. And I know what I watched on that video. I watched that cop, and you know, I don't know exactly, I think there was a struggle before that, but from what I've seen, he did stay on top of him just despite the crowd. That was the impression I got. Now, don't come for me. You know, we all can have different opinions about it, you know. There's no need to be nasty. Okay, let's read this. During opening statements on Monday, Derek Chauvin's lawyer suggested unruly bystanders had distracted Minnesota police officer while Chauvin kept his knee on George Floyd's neck for an extended period of time. But you know what? When you're a police officer, you have to have a cool, calm head on your shoulders. You know, you can't get pissed off real easy. He needs, you know, when you're a cop, you need to learn to mentally block people out when there's crowds like that and just do your job. The crowd, he did let the crowd get to him. You could tell they were pissing him off, and that's why he stayed on him that long. That's my opinion. Okay. Prosecutors started off court proceedings by showing jurors video footage showing the Minneapolis police officer, Derek Chauvin, 46, kneeling on Floyd's neck for several minutes as the handcuffed man flails and shakes before losing consciousness. In turn, the defense referenced Floyd's alleged use of fentanyl and methamphetamine and how he resisted arrest during last May's deadly incident. He did resist arrest. I saw a video of that too, a short clip. He did, but they had him under control. And why did Derek Chauvin continue to stay on top of George Floyd when George Floyd urinated himself? The man was dying right there, and he just stayed on top of him. During opening statements, lead defense attorney Eric Nelson implied that the screaming crowd who were filmed telling Derek Chauvin to get off Floyd's neck were somehow to blame for the series of events that ended with Floyd's death. Nelson said Chauvin acted within the scope of his job and that he acted appropriately as he surveyed potential threats from a growing group of outraged onlookers. Well, I get they got to protect themselves, and there's a crowd gathered around. You might be afraid they might attack or something, but hey, he didn't do his job correctly. He killed this man. As the crowd grew in size, seemingly, so too did their anger, Nelson said. There is a growing crowd and what officers perceive to be a threat. They are called names. During Monday's proceedings, jurors heard testimony from a 911 dispatcher who said she called Chauvin's supervisor during Floyd's arrest. She recalled looking at one of her monitors and seeing Chauvin kneeling on Floyd for several minutes, which she initially believed was a result of the city's surveillance feed freezing. On May 25th, Minneapolis police officers were filmed arresting Floyd on suspicion that he used a counterfeit bill at the Cut Food supermarket. After police pulled Floyd out of the car and handcuffed him, Chauvin was filmed forcing his knee onto Floyd's back for more than 8 minutes. It was first, let me get my notes here. It was first reported that Derek Chauvin stayed on top of George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That is not accurate. He actually was on top of him for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Floyd was heard gasping for air and saying he could not breathe before he lost consciousness and died. The autopsy report stated that there was no evidence to support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. An independent autopsy asserted that sustained forceful pressure on Floyd's neck and back led to his death. Both reports mentioned drugs in George Floyd's system, but concluded his death was a homicide. Well, it probably didn't help none he had drugs in his system, because that slows down your breathing. And if he had fentanyl and meth in his system, that is speedballing. But still, Derek Chauvin acted recklessly. I mean, he knew this man couldn't breathe, and probably knew he was under the influence. So Chauvin is charged with third-degree murder, second-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in connection with George Floyd's death. In addition to Chauvin, 3 other ex-officers, Thomas Lane, 37, J. Alexander, oh my gosh, let me see if I can say this, Kuyang Ying, 26, and Tao Thao, 34, charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter in connection with Floyd's death. Derek is being tried separately from the other 3 former officers who will stand trial together. Their trial is scheduled to begin this summer. Oh, I didn't know they were going to be tried together. Interesting. Now, the next witness after this 911 operator was the girl that worked at the gas station. She made a complete fool out of herself yesterday. I don't know if she was nervous. I don't know. She needs some etiquette classes. How do you say it? Etiquette classes. When they played her recordings from her phone, of course she was cussing in it. She started laughing and smirking just like a little 14, 15-year-old would. I don't think my son would have acted like that in court, though, and he's 14. Like I said, she was there filming, and she didn't remember nothing. Not a damn thing did she answer yesterday. She answered a couple things, but that's about it. She made a complete fool out of herself. I was sitting there watching it yesterday. Of course, I was doing commentary. Mark's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm in here watching this damn trial, and this girl that recorded what happened has answered, I don't know, to every damn thing they have asked her." Like, what the hell? And she's got 10-inch eyelashes on. You can't even see her eyes, and she looked high to me. She looked like she was under the influence to me. She was a bad witness. A bad witness. Hey, Charlene, Meow Meow. Hey, I'm watching but eating. Hope everyone's good. We're good. Stacy says Floyd was saying that, too, when he was running around the car, too, but I think the cops stayed that long waiting for the ambulance to come. Hey, Natalie, they didn't even get off top of him when the ambulance come. Derek Chauvin stayed on top of him, and George Floyd was under control. He'd done urinated himself and everything, as far as I can remember. The man was dying right there in front of everybody on the street. Short Nice. If you're dying to say terminal cancer and kill you, you may defense going to die in. Would my defense be you were going to die anyways? Short Now, since you say that, that reminds me of a case of a woman who killed her husband, and if she had waited 2 months, he would have died of cancer and didn't know he had it. I cannot remember the name because I have watched like all the cases on the ID channel, Oxygen, and freaking Forensic Files. It's good to see you in chat, Natalie. I've been missing you, girl. I hope your ears are doing better. Natalie couldn't listen to me. I was hurting her ears. No, I was kidding. It was her damn earbuds. Ear infections and ear problems is no joke. Very, very painful. I went deaf in my ear, Natalie, for 6 months one time. My dumbass wouldn't go to the doctor. My ear stopped up. After about 6 months, one night I was laying in bed. And it started hurting. I mean, hurting so bad I couldn't hardly walk. And stuff was draining from it. And my mom had to take me to the emergency room. They had to give me like a pain shot. Like I couldn't even walk. I was in so much pain. Yeah. I shouldn't have waited to went to the doctor. I mean, if your ear stops up and you can't hear, you should go to the freaking doctor. I'm bad for that. Not going to the doctor. But anyways, I'm glad you're doing better. Okay, so I guess, let's see. We could take a peek at the live stream of the George Floyd trial. Let me see, where's it at? I just saw it. Oh, I didn't click on it. Okay, so there was an MMA fighter just on the witness stand. I saw him testifying, right before I went live. Good looking guy. A lot better witness than that chick yesterday, I can tell you that. Let's peek in and see what's going on with the trial. And I want to show y'all this big shiner this lawyer got. He was beating up his girlfriend at a bowling alley. And this woman come to his girlfriend's defense and she popped that guy right in the eye, blacked his eye. I'd love to have been the one to have blacked his eye.
Dealing with crowds that are upset.
Turn it up.
Experience as a security guard. When you're dealing with a crowd that is upset, are there ways to try and de-escalate the situation without using force?
That is correct.
Like what kinds of things can you do?
Really staying calm, being humane, talking to the person, trying to talk them down, just getting the person away from the situation, just being humane with the person. What worked for me in downtown Minneapolis as a security guard and with drunk people.
Smart guy.
I'm babysitting pretty much. Like I have to come to and try to figure out a way how to solve this problem without putting physical force to them unless they are trying to physically enforce on me.
So while you were on the street there on 38th in Chicago on May 25th of last year and watching Mr. Chauvin hold Mr. Floyd down, did you see Officer Tao try to de-escalate that situation at all with the crowd?
Sustained.
Well, based on your training and experience as a security guard and your testimony just now about ways to de-escalate the situation, did you see Tao doing anything like that while you were there on that scene?
Sustained. Sidebar.
Uh-oh. Well, okay. We're not going to watch it all. I should stream the trial on my channel and just mute my mic so I could do things around the house. Okay, let's look at this weirdo. Look at that big shiner he got. Oh, it's so funny. Hey, that's what happens when you're a woman beater. I wonder how he liked it. He's a woman beater. I wonder how he liked it when a woman bust him right in the eye. I'd like to bust him right in the nose. Okay. Avenging woman belts Charleston attorney when he attacks his girlfriend. And this is not the first time he's attacked someone. He punched a state trooper. I think the state trooper pulled him over. And this guy's a lawyer. He used to be a prosecutor. Oh, yeah, and I need to tell y'all about this dismembered body article over here, too. Okay, so a Charleston area attorney and former prosecutor was arrested earlier this month and charged with assault and battery of his girlfriend at a bowling alley. But 58-year-old P. Michael Dupree didn't get that shiner he's sporting in his mugshot during his arrest. He got it when an unknown woman came to his girlfriend's defense and punched him in the face. And it's not the first time Dupree's temper has gotten the best of him. The South Carolina Supreme Court suspended him practicing law for 9 months in 2012 after he punched a Utah state trooper while he was on vacation. Who was out here on a motorcycle? I have no clue. One of Mark's dumb friends. Okay. Hold on a minute. And that's when the unidentified woman rushed over and clocked him, sending Dupree to the floor with a handful of the victim's hair in his hand, the witness said. Did I miss something here? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Witnesses told officers that Dupree entered Ashley Lanes on March 19th, walked up to a woman who was later identified as his girlfriend, started arguing with her. According to the witnesses, Dupree got behind her, putting her in a chokehold, and was pulling her hair. That's when the unidentified woman rushed over and clocked him, sending Dupree to the floor with a handful of the victim's hair still in his hand. It's okay, lady. Police located the victim, who corroborated the witness's story. Officers found Dupree on the floor, and paramedics transported him to Roper St. Francis Hospital. He was arrested while still at the hospital. He was released the day after the incident on a $1,087 bond with the court date of May 5th. Damn, she must have belted him good if she laid him out on the floor. I wonder if she got charged. I didn't read this morning. As for the Utah State Trooper incident, the state Supreme Court ruling says that Dupree was a passenger in a vehicle that was pulled over by a trooper March 22nd, 2012. The trooper asked the driver for his license, registration, and proof of insurance, and then asked how much he had been drinking. Dupree repeatedly interrupted and told the driver not to answer the trooper's questions, telling the trooper he was a lawyer. The trooper called for backup, and after they arrived, asked the driver to get out of the vehicle. That's when Dupree, who was obviously intoxicated, became belligerent, repeatedly used profanity, and refused to cooperate with the trooper's request to calm down. I don't know if Mark went outside and talked to his stupid friend or not. Hush, baby. When troopers told him to stay in the vehicle, he tried to get out. Later, when they told him to get out so they could tow the vehicle, he refused and locked the doors. He did this each time the troopers unlocked the doors, all the while berating the officers and calling them names. So he is one of these guys that thinks because he's a big wig, got some kind of power, that he can just treat people like crap. That's what's going on here in this situation. Okay, so he The officers forced him out of the vehicle. He attacked them, punching the initial officer in the mouth and biting him on the arm. Oh, if this had been anybody else, they would have went to jail for a few years for biting an officer and punching them. Hold on a minute, guys. Let me mute and holler at Mark. Maybe he's outside. He didn't answer me. I yelled. Oh, let's look at this. Oh, crap. I stopped screen sharing. Damn it. I wanted to look at this shiner again, and I get a kick out of this. I get a kick out of this that he was a woman beater trying to beat on a woman, and here comes a woman out of nowhere and just clocks him right in the eye. She knocked his block off. Evidently, he was laying on the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh at it. That's just so funny. That's what he gets. And his face is now plastered on Crime Online. So, I mean, there goes his reputation. His reputation probably sucked anyways. Skylar is crying her eyes out in the bathroom, y'all. I guess Mark walked outside. Hold on, let me look. Oh no, all I see is a good looking man on a Harley. I don't know which one that is. Okay. So did y'all remember that man that was found murdered? Some of his body parts was in a U-Haul. Some of them was in a trash can. You remember that? DA approves murder charges after dismembered body found in a U-Haul. We talked about it on here. Murder charges are pending against a man and woman for the murder of a Philadelphia massage therapist whose dismembered body was found in the back of a U-Haul truck last month. Prosecutors have approved the charges against Teray Herring, 47, and Jeanette Pace. Herring was the passenger in the U-Haul when police pulled it over after neighbors of 70-year-old Peter Gerald reported a suspicious truck near Gerald's home. The driver jumped out immediately and told officers, "I don't want anything to do with this, and there's a body in the back." He was later released without any charges. Officers found body parts in the trash bag in the back. Later found more body parts in the dumpster at a nearby convenience store, some of which had been deep fried. Herring was charged with burglary, abuse of a corpse, criminal trespass, theft, and tampering with evidence at the time. Neighbors had initially called police and requested a welfare check because they hadn't seen Gerald. Officers who responded didn't find him at his home and saw nothing amiss. The next morning, they got a call about a U-Haul truck. In addition to the body parts, police also found a weapon. So I think what happened is this U-Haul truck was backed up to Mr. Gerald's home. Neighbors became suspicious because they was loading things in it. And they called police. Police pulled that U-Haul over. The driver gets out and's like, "Hey, I don't want nothing to do with this. There's a body in the back and some of it's deep fried." Can you believe they deep fried somebody's body? If you're going to go to the trouble of deep frying body parts, that means you were participating in cannibalism. That's my opinion. Why else would you take the time to roll a body part in flour and put it in a deep fryer if you wasn't going to eat it? I mean, I guess they could say, "Oh, we was wanting to dispose of evidence." Really? So you deep fried it? No. They were eating the body parts. Had to have been. Okay, let's see what else happened. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, I can't say that word, Herring initially told police he was coming from his lover's house and that he'd been paid $1,000 to move a body. But friends of Gerald said that wasn't true and that Herring was paid to take care of Gerald's exotic animals. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That guy had all kinds of exotic pets. Then the court document said Herring told detectives that Pace, his ex-girlfriend, and her new boyfriend killed Gerald during a botched robbery. He said he had invited them into the house and then left. When he returned, Gerald was dead. But the documents say he recanted that statement, saying instead he was angry with Pace and the new boyfriend because they took items from Gerald's house and left him there with the body. What the crap? Pace and her new boyfriend, let me see if I can say his name. Refakik or something, McNichols, were charged with burglary and other counts in the case. She was also charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle after police found Gerald's vehicle near the apartment where she and McNichols live. Pace told police that Herring had wanted her to come see some of Gerald's animals and that Herring and her boyfriend had broken into Gerald's safe and stolen $3,000. She said she later learned about the body in the U-Haul and that Herring had been arrested. Herring is a registered sex offender and was arrested last May on charges of burglary, criminal trespass, theft, and other charges. He was released in June, has not yet faced a preliminary hearing. He pleaded guilty to unauthorized use of a motor vehicle in 2019, was convicted of indecent assault and harassment in 2013, and pleaded guilty to other felonies in 2012 and 2011. See, this just proves what I always say about these weirdos. No rehabilitation for them. This one, registered sex offender, been arrested last year, released, and what did he do? He went and killed someone, hacked up their body. An elderly gentleman, good man, hacked his body up and deep fried some of the parts, then tossed it away like trash. And here is the victim, Mr. Gerald. He had all kinds of exotic animals. Actually, the news clip that I watched of it when it first happened, they kind of insinuated he was an animal hoarder, but the animals were in good condition. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here. Mark's got one of his stupid friends outside. They're just out there talking about stupid motorcycle riding. Hey, speaking of motorcycle riding, I cannot wait until it is warm enough to really ride motorcycles because Mark is killing me. I'm tell you what, he keeps it up. Y'all gonna be talking about me on one of these live streams. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking, y'all. When I say things like that, I'm just joking. I like to poke fun a little bit. Really, he is killing me. He's had a toothache for 2 freaking weeks. Or more than that. And he is the biggest crybaby. You know what I said this morning? I said, I am tired of hearing it because he was grumpy. I said, I had toothaches for years. You know, try having a baby. You can get back to me. Oh, anyways, I may see y'all later on if it's warm. I was ready to do a stream yesterday evening on the porch, and it was too cold. I freeze real easy now where I'm on blood pressure pills. I don't think I said hi to Cindy in the chat. Cindy, you're late, girl. I'm into my stream. Let me give her a late slip. I love Cindy. She's awesome. Mel Mel says, geez, Mark. Hey, he's killing me, Mel Mel. Getting on my nerves so bad I can't really stand it. Ugh. Like, he is right at my butt. He don't got no social media no more, and he is right at my butt all the time. You know me. I like my space and my alone time. Anyways, I will see y'all later. Have a great day. Thanks for your support. Thanks for chatting. Be safe, be kind, and peace. I'm going to the funny farm.